and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
I got to get another taste of this. Oh, my goodness. Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as the Funky Chicken. And out of the shot, I got to readjust the camera or move Bucky. We got Bucky the Beaver. And it is Saturday morning. It is college football Saturday. It is the bye week for the Dallas Cowboys. And it has been a roller coaster of a week that literally I will be glad to be put into the books. We have so much here, so much that's going on. The question is, how do we feel right now about the Dallas Cowboys as they retool their defense in the middle of the season? I want to go back to something here with before the game, before the slaughter by the Arizona Cardinals with Troy Aikman.
You're Dallas. And all the comparisons have been made about last year and what Joe Burrow did with Cincinnati, and they didn't play well defensively. And I think those comparisons are real. And you've got a quarterback in Dak Prescott. He's played great. He's among the best at that position. He's healthy, and they're putting up a lot of points, but yet they're on the outside looking in currently. And so that's hard to swallow, I think, if you're Brian Schottenheimer and the Dallas Cowboys, knowing you've got a quarterback playing at that level, you got an offense that's doing that, but yet the defense has been so poor. But, you know, this is an opportunity again for them tonight to see what they're capable of doing, and Arizona's looking at it thinking, well, it's an opportunity for them as well against a defense that's really had some tough times.
Troy, Jerry's been alluding to a move being made for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're really just one, like let's say it's a defensive player, are they one defensive player from all of a sudden being a competitive football team?
No, I don't believe so. Do I think Micah Parsons would have made a difference? Absolutely. Yeah. And now, would that change their record that much? You know, I don't know. He is a difference maker, but those guys aren't typically available. So I don't know that they can bring in somebody like him. I don't know what that move is. I don't know who it might be. I think it's interesting that you announce there's a trade, but you're not going to announce who it is. You know? But
it's a very kind of Jerry being Jerry.
What do they have to give up, and what exactly does that look like? I guess we'll all be evaluating that tomorrow sometime.
Yeah. You know what? I want to go to the other side of the field in the Arizona Cardinals. It was announced that Jacoby.
I'll leave it right there. So his thought was one move is not going to be enough to change this team. And it's true. I agree that one move is not enough, but it's the start of rebuilding it, okay? Let's be clear here. We have taken the Dallas Cowboys over last year and the year before and literally deconstructing it and trying to rebuild it. You don't pause the rebuild because the season is here. If we are to take Stephen Jones at his word where he says, you know, player acquisition, it's a 365-day-a-year job, and we're always going to be looking for things that can help us get better. And each and every day we'll take a look at it and you trust the process, and, you know, we'll go through and we'll evaluate, does this player fit what our needs are? And, you know, can I go ahead and get a contract that's dirt cheap so that way I can put them on the roster? But you're always looking to get better. So this is true that having just one player does not necessarily fix the defense. And if you look at this and say, well, the season's over, there's no point in doing anything else, I think you're sadly mistaken, because let me see if I can find I always like finding analogies, okay? You want to try and maximize what you do with your time, okay? So if you can double up on something and do double the work during the same time, then you're actually getting ahead. You know, it's kind of like, trying to remember the app. There's an app in there that you can basically load a video and it cuts up like basically shorts. So you're you know, for, you know, a lot of times I'm doing a game live stream, and I'll have another camera that's setting up that's recording. If there's something big that happens, I can cut that real quick while I'm still live streaming. And I can get that out there because not everybody wants to watch a 9-hour live stream. So I'm doing more work in the same time. And so if you're the Cowboys, if you look at it and say, well, this isn't going to get us to the playoffs and the Super Bowl now, you're probably right. But what it may do is get me some of the work done that will down the road. Now, for all we know, this is just Jerry Jones effing with us, to trick our emotions, to make us think that, oh, this time they mean it, because we've been fooled so many times. Well, I make this trade right here, then people will say, well, you won the trade against, with Micah Parsons, you got some players, and it gets people off their back and maybe makes the defense a little bit more palatable to actually watch, because what we saw against Arizona was unwatchable. It was unwatchable. The other thing you have to take into consideration is you are going to get more people into the rotation. The Cowboys defense, with having a bye week, and I don't know if we can fully judge Matt Eberflus, because Matt Eberflus has a way he wants to do his defense. He does not have the players. You lost, your best player, a week before the season. You never got Diggs fully healthy out there on the field. Bland has had issues. And you're sitting there now trying to get, Kenny Clark used to your defense and so on. And you're brand new here trying to put all these pieces together. Now, is it worse than what you would expect? Yeah, with the new, yeah. But you've had, as Stephen A. Smith, what can go wrong will go wrong as far as your defense goes. You've had a multitude of injuries there. You've brought in a lot of new players, some of which you maybe shouldn't have. Some of them were just, I'm not even sure they were warm bodies. But it is what it is. But as you go in this week and you've got this extra bye week to try and figure out what you're going to do, and players will get back out on the field and you don't play until Monday night, you've got some time to figure out, how am I going to use these pieces? Because you have a multitude of new pieces with Logan Wilson. You've got another linebacker, and you got Overshown that you're going to bring back in there slowly. So you're changing up your linebacking core. Sandbag is going on IR, so we won't see him on the field. I'm sure Kenneth Murray's snaps are going to be reduced right there. And you're going to get back Josh Butler, and you're going to have the rookie draft pick, Savon Rebel. So you now have a little bit different of a look. You got guys that are a little fresher than the ones that have been out there, possibly. You're going to have another stud on the defensive line, and you're starting the process of building a defense for next year. In the meantime, you may find that the team turns around. I don't know that they have to be the 85 Bears if our offense gets back into a groove. So, listening to what most people were saying, and I preface this because as people say, everybody has an opinion, and ESPN and all those shows have become opinion pieces. They're not the highlight pieces that let you decide what you want to do or what you think. They are telling you how you should feel and telling you how bad things are. And so if you listen to what people say about the trades we've made, and they're telling you it's stupid, I have to say that people do get it wrong. Let me give you an example, because, you praise on one, you crash on another.
Finally, you got to bless Dallas Cowboy fans' heart. They're so excited for George Pickens, and I was saying this today. When Kyle Shanahan said, I can't make Trey Lance work. I made Matt Schaub a Pro Bowler. Brock Purdy, I got him to a Super Bowl. Garoppolo, I got to a Super Bowl. I can't make Trey Lance work. And the Cowboys were like, ooh, yeah. Here's a 4th-round pick. Okay, when Warren Buffett says, be careful with Bitcoin, I'm careful with Bitcoin. When Mike Tomlin says about a receiver, listen, I can't make it work. Chase Claypool, AB, Martavius Bryant, I mean,
Deontay
the
Johnson.
list goes on. Deontay Johnson. If Mike Tomlin, who is two things, great motivator and incredibly patient with immature players, when Mike says, yeah, guys, I'm out. But Jerry, this is a personality trait. Jerry loves to save. He loves to give people jobs that need him. Chan Gailey, Mike McCarthy, Jason Garrett, Brian Schottenheimer. They feel like Jerry is saving it. He's giving a job that's not available. McCarthy couldn't get interviews. Parcells and Jimmy Johnson didn't need him. That wore Jimmy out. Dak Prescott, 4th round. He loves, Tony Romo, undrafted. Cowboys never draft quarterbacks in the 1st round. They don't need Jerry. So when he goes and gets George Pickens, the reputation is out. Basically, Tomlin, I'm out. Jerry's like,
that's my guy.
I'm here. I'll make it work. I think this is Jerry's wildcatting oil days, where he would hunt for gems. And I think that is literally his mindset with coaches and sometimes draft picks and players, is that he feels like Pickens, he's the rest of the league is out. I am in. And I don't think long term, I think that's why the Cowboys are where the Cowboys are currently in the NFL.
I think that George Pickens is one of the more overrated players in the whole league. And the reason I feel that way is because I think certain football fans, this is one of my favorite and kind of relatively newest take, which is talent has become wildly overrated. And particularly in the NFL. Obviously, you need a requisite level of talent. That goes without saying. However, this idea that talent is some cure-all, when this guy has been a pain in the ass every step of his football life. It is why he fell in the draft. It is why you were hearing rumors about him being available during his 2nd year, during his 3rd year. He was traded here. When you are potentially trying.
Okay, so there you have Cowboys. Stupid Cowboys. George Pickens. He's got talent, but he's a knucklehead. You can't save him on this one. So how's that one working out? I believe he's 3rd in the NFL right now in yards. So what I'm saying here is you have to understand that what you hear is opinions. And football is like forecasting the weather a week out. You know what's crazy is I'm working on this roof, and it's one of those spray insulation roofs where they have like a top seal on it, and it's gotten old and it needs to be resealed. So you got to go through and you need to power wash it. So one day I went over the first day, I looked at the weather, and it's going to be in the 60s every day. No rain at all. So I'm like, good. I got 3 days. First day I go over, power wash it, and get it cleaned up and try and get off as much water as I can. The next day I got to go through because there's a couple places where the insulation foam was penetrated because it's got little pits. So I need to clean those out and go ahead and put some more of the spray insulation back into this roofing thing. And then I'll go over today, even it out, and then I can put the top coat and I'm done. And then lo and behold, last night, out of nowhere, I look at the weather report and they're calling for some rain from 11 o'clock to like 2 a.m. in the morning. It's like, wait a minute. You guys are the experts. How is it now it's going to rain? I didn't have this in my plans. And it gets cold next week. So understand, forecasting the NFL is just as hard. Now, the question I have for the Cowboys right now is, are we done? Are we done? Are we looking to say we are trying to save this season and we're going to be looking at trying to bring in some more players? Because there are some players out there that maybe are better than what we have right now. And one of those is safety Asante Samuels. Asante Samuels, he's, if you go to Pro Football Focus, his rankings, he's got a 66.1 grade. It's not incredible. Titans are in rebuild mode, and they're jettisoning older players. He's 32, 5'9", 200-pound safety. And he's basically right about 32nd out of 90 as far as safeties. A little above average, which right now is better than what we have on the roster or physically able to play. Will the Cowboys look at kicking the tires on him? I doubt it. There's Asante Samuels out there. Problem with Asante Samuels is he doesn't have the length that they like. Could he actually play right now and help the Cowboys some? I got to think with seeing what happened to us last week, it can't be any worse than what I saw, that every third and long that they're completing it. But I doubt that the Cowboys, I think they're going to look at it and say, we got Savon Ravel, we got Josh Butler coming back. We got all these pieces now that we're trying to incorporate. We're okay right now. And I doubt that happens. So when we go through, I did play this during my live stream last night, but I'm still blown away that somebody actually still thinks that it was a good move for the Cowboys to make these moves, regardless of what Troy Aikman said. And Colin Cowherd is about one of the few voices out there that says it's good. But he actually summarized verbatim the same thing that I said. This is not about just this year. This is about building for next year as well.
I'm in total disagreement. I watched a little of shows yesterday. I'm in total disagreement with virtually every other media member on what the Cowboys did with Micah and these moves to get Quinnen Williams. So one of the things I liked about the Micah move, it created liquidation and flexibility and diversification. They were going to be too top heavy. And Jerry Jones is a deal maker. And if they signed Luka between CeeDee Lamb and Dak, they just have no flexibility, no diversification. They'd be top heavy. So I think one of the things that's being overlooked that the Cowboys did in this deal to get Quinnen Williams, they kept both number one picks in this coming draft in April. That's a big deal. They gave up a first the draft after, because this draft has two things that benefit the Cowboys. Tons of good edge rushers. Now with Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams, interior linemen that are way above average. One of them's a star. They'll go get an edge rusher to add to that. The second thing they have is a quarterback in a quarterback-rich draft where 8 teams are desperate for one.
There you
so
go.
Those picks they give
Trade
up to the
piece.
Jets, they can get those back with the flexibility and diversification of 2 first-round picks and what you can do with it. And so the draft has an edge rusher, replace Micah, and quarterbacks don't need, move down that pick. So that's what I love. The second thing is Dallas is saying, and I totally agree with them, by acquiring Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, what they're telling you is
We
they
gotta stop
view
the run.
interior defensive linemen as more valuable than edge rushers. And I'm here to tell you, I totally agree. The New England Patriots this year spent money on interior defensive line. Number 1 rush defense in the NFL. You know who else has a really good interior defensive line, spends money on it? The Colts, top 5 run defense. Here are the teams that have excellent interior defensive linemen. Tampa, Seattle, Denver, Colts, Patriots, Rams, Eagles. That's a different body type. Edge rushers are like wide receivers. You can find tall guys, great athletes, 6'4.5", 6'5.5", that can catch the football or rush a passer. It is incredibly rare to find somebody who's 6'2", 320 with good feet. That's what Quinnen Williams has. Okay? So
there you go.
Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams give you, what's the strength of Philadelphia this year? Why can't the Rams beat Philadelphia? Because they can't block Davis and the kid out of Georgia. They can't block those two
Jalen
interior. Carter. They can't block them. That's why they lost this year against Philly. It's why they lost in the playoffs last year. They're struggling to block those guys. So Dallas has said, we love Micah, but we'll take flexibility and interior D-line over an expensive edge rusher.
There you go.
Julian Edelman was on my show on Tuesday.
And that's what you have to look at here is, unfortunately, when we have Micah Parsons and not a whole lot else, when you have Micah Parsons on one side, the guys on the other side should be feasting. Everybody else, because Micah is getting double teamed and triple teamed. That means those other guys out there, your other edge rusher, should be getting 8, 9, 10 sacks his damn self because he's the focal point. Everybody else was better on the defense because of Lawrence Taylor. So what that says is the guys that are there or have been there aren't really that good, because if they were, they would be feasting. And so what the Cowboys recognize is we can't have just one great player, because you can game plan, especially with Micah Parsons being a little bit on the smaller side as an edge rusher. If you have a lead, you want Micah Parsons out there. You want to just release the Kraken and let him go after the quarterback. He's going to get upfield. He's going to bend the edge. He's going to get the quarterback. But as we've seen in the playoffs, unfortunately, teams are pounding the rock, and that's not his strength. So the Cowboys are saying, we're going to build our defense from the interior defensive line out. And if that interior defensive line, in the same way everybody else benefits from Micah Parsons being good, everybody will benefit from the interior defensive line being able to stop the run and put pressure up the middle. And so that's all I have to say about that. As we get out of here, I got to get back up on this roof. Hopefully it's not too wet on there. I got to go over and probably sweep it off and hope the sun dries it out, because I'm not trying to do that on Sunday, game day. But YouTube TV and ESPN and Disney, the NFL has a chance to be a hero, and they need to go through and they need to go ahead and knock both of these guys upside the head and say, wake the hell up. You guys are destroying the golden, whatever you want to call it, the pot of gold. Because here we are, week number 2 of missing Saturday college football and another Monday night game. And people are pissed.
Watched the tape last night because I couldn't get ESPN to work, so I couldn't watch Monday Night Football, and the D line just whooped the Indianapolis Colts offensive line ass. So that was part of it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, lucky for me, I didn't turn off the auto pay to Hulu.
Sure.
Because I was once a Hulu guy. Once a Hulu guy. Sunday Ticket goes to YouTube TV. So I got to go over to YouTube TV. Start doing YouTube TV. Wow.
Superior product.
Yeah, this is what it's like.
Really good.
Yeah.
This is really
Coke and
good.
Pepsi.
It is not even. I think it's whatever the case. For sports fans, it is really good. So this ESPN YouTube TV thing is like a real, I mean, this is a real, hey, you guys need to figure this shit out type situation for sports fans, because it felt like YouTube TV was actually crafted for sports fans. Like that is like, hey, we're going to try to make this the best viewing experience for sports as you possibly. The quad box created for sports fans. Now, there's people that aren't sports fans that are using that. Have you seen some of the quad box options? When it like you go into, so I'll go on like somebody's bus or something. I'll use somebody's bus for a night. So I'm using their YouTube TV. So it's like what channels they're used to, and it's smart for them. And it's like the quad box opportunities are like, okay, got a political show here. We got a little cartoon here. You got this down here. And also you got sports here. Yeah, I didn't even think about the non-sports fans. Yeah, but sports goes over there. So last night for Monday Night Football, we were all kind of just in agreement that was going to get done before Monday Night Football, right?
Yes. This thing happens every single year with either CBS or NBC or Fox or who have you, and it's always like, at the 20th.
I think NBC, it just happened.
It did, and it's always at the 25th hour they come in and save the day, and we don't miss any. It seems like it's mostly just posturing. I think most people assumed there was no way we weren't going to be able to watch college football on Saturday. Yeah, and then last night was kind of like oh wow, like this actually might go on for a while. And now it's to the point where it's like some of these, missing game day and college football on Saturday, like this isn't week 1 or 2. Like we're getting to the point where it's the most important football of the season. So it seems like, if they didn't get something done before last night, because you would think the NFL is kind of the end-all be-all. It's like we need to get this done before the Cowboys are playing on Monday Night Football.
So I just learned of this because of what happened last night. I think the McAfee, the old antivirus, I think they tell you all the things you're auto-paying and can completely get rid of it. Who knows what I am still auto-paying for right now?
I don't even want to know.
But the Hulu one, still going. Jumped into a new phone. I had no idea how it got over this one. I transferred phones.
I couldn't even get it working on Hulu.
Yeah,
I must have a bullshit subscription.
Well, you must be not being auto. You must have got it. You must have done a good job. I don't know how long I've been paying this Hulu subscription. I guess I've been paying for a long time. I took the photo, though, on the screen, a little QR code, touched the thing, went to the thing, and then my phone was like, what's the thing? I type it in, and all of a sudden, boom, Patty Hulu, you're back. It was like, okay, you guys have been charging me this entire time. It shouldn't have been that easy, I don't think, to get in there. But that was what... I mean, I racked the brain, like, how do I even get to it? Shouldn't be doing that for NFL football or anything.
No.
Should not be doing that for football.
Never. I shouldn't be on these sites that could give my damn devices AIDS. I don't want that. We're past the LimeWire era.
Yeah, we shouldn't be doing that. This shit is getting ridiculous. And especially with everything else that's going on with the economy, where people are literally trying to keep food on the table and fight depression. And here it is. One of the things that keeps us keeps us sane, or gives us, something that can take us away from our problems, we can't get. Y'all need to fix this shit. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is ridiculous. Hope you guys have a great day, and I got to get out of here.
I can't stand it anymore. I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're one on the phone. Everything's going to be all right. Please.
Sister, please, I'll handle this.
I've got to get out of